Hit it, us.
It's After Hours with Mariah and Ty.
Your weekly download of their extracurricular activities. Enjoy.
This week on After Hours with Mariah and Ty.
It's the Mongolian deathworm. What more do you need to know?
All of this talk just scares me, though.
You don't want to run into a fucking badger. Like, it's scary.
Noise in the woods. It's like 9 times out of 10, probably teenagers smoking weed. Like, that's what's really going on
Those
over
are
there.
the real cryptids, man.
Yeah.
Those are scary.
It's episode 73. We are in the studio today.
Oh, man. I was actually thinking today would be a good day to, like, not have an alcoholic drink for me.
But we are. This is the Southern State Tennessee Lemonade Whiskey Cocktail made with gumption and following ingredients.
Oh, that's great.
Made from Gradient Beverages right in Calgary, Canada. I'm not much of a whiskey guy, so.
Wow,
Calgary, Canada, not Calgary, Alberta.
I'm reading the can,
Oh,
Mariah. I'm
sorry.
just reading the can, okay?
This is very good. I would drink this a lot.
It's like a dirty lemonade.
It tastes like a whiskey, that's for sure.
Oh, that's
It's a little
good.
different, though. Usually,
You actually think that's whiskey tasting? I think
yeah.
that tastes just great.
Oh, yeah.
no, because a lot of the time they do like vodka lemonades. I like this a little bit better.
This is like a true like back porch tea.
yeah.
A back porch tea. Delicious. I know what I want to talk about on today's podcast, so do you want me to start?
Sure.
Okay. We're going to be talking about cryptids and crypto characters. We're not talking about crypto coin,
Thank
Crypto
God.
but like the scary cryptids. You know, I was thinking about it like, you know, when you're on vacation and you toss on a podcast and they start talking about something spooky, like this could be this episode of our podcast.
You
So people-
vacation to listen to podcasts. You're like, hey, you know what?
That's what I'm going for, 100%.
I don't want to see the sights.
No.
Hike
just
the hikes.
Gotta
eat
get
the
my
foods.
podcast in. If I'm hiking, you bet your ass I got a podcast going.
Okay.
Like, do you have a favorite cryptid?
I don't
What do
know
you
that
mean
is.
by that term?
Yeah.
Like the Mothman.
What?
So you're saying a
Ogopogo.
mythological creature?
They're not all mythological. Some people think
the
these people
Bigfoot?
could be real. Bigfoot, yes. Skinwalkers. That's what we're talking here.
Okay, so sure.
Do you have a favorite?
I would say, can this be like creatures or are these like scary things?
It's like things that people have claimed to encounter.
Oh, so not mythological then. Because mythological would be like a dragon. I don't know if
Yes.
people have claimed to encounter a dragon.
Maybe in the early 1400s, they might have said there was
What
one.
about a griffin?
I don't think people have ever claimed to encounter a griffin.
How are they in books then?
Well, they're just fantasy.
but
okay.
but
No one's ever
folklore-
encountered an elf.
You don't know that. This is
pretty
too broad
solid.
of a term.
So, like an example of a cryptid would be the Enfield Horror. Do you know what the Enfield Horror is?
Why did you want to talk about this?
Because it's fun.
But it's like we're in mid-August. You're like Halloween's right around the corner. Let's
I
start
guess so.
talking. What is it? Tell me what that's.
They just say it's something. Here's the bio of it. Are you ready? During the early 1970s, something horrible stalked the small town of Enfield, Illinois. Although Illinois is already home to phenomena such as strange lights, phantom black panthers, and thunderbirds, I don't know what that is, something even stranger briefly haunted the people of this town. On April 25th, 1973, Henry McDaniel was among the first to encounter the terrible aberration, the Enfield Horror.
What does it look like?
It had 3 legs, a short body, 2 little short arms, and 2 pink eyes as big as flashlights. It stood 4.5 feet tall and was grayish colored. It was trying to get into the house.
Creepy. There's actually a lot of stories like this that I follow on TikTok. A lot of people, I don't know. I think it's a creature that people claim is like prevalent in like Mexico and the Central Americas. But I gotta do a Google on this because there's a lot of different cultures that claim that they have these cryptid type of creatures.
Another one I wanted to tell you about was the Flatwoods Monster. I'm going to show you a picture of that one right now, Mariah, and I bet you're going to be like, absolutely not. Immediately no. Okay?
Okay, I don't want to really.
I want you to see it. This is what people drew when they try to describe the Flatwoods Monster. That's an immediate no from Mariah.
I'm good.
Give me that thing. Let me look again.
I'll just Google it. You have a computer in front of you. The Flatwoods Monster, also known as the Braxton County Monster or the Phantom of the Flatwoods, is an alleged unidentified extraterrestrial or cryptid reported to be sighted in the town of Flatwoods in Braxton County.
Okay, now I've gotten into this deep dive. Okay, there is a article that I'm looking at, and it gives obviously like the commons, the Bigfoot, the Yeti, I don't know.
Those are good ones.
Apparently, the number one is the Mongolian deathworm. I have no idea what that is.
It's the Mongolian deathworm. What more do you need to know? I don't want to F with that.
Okay, the Ogopogo is obviously up there.
Here on the cryptozoology cryptids.fandom.com.
What is that?
They say the Flatwoods Monster was first seen in 1952. Now, it also says the authenticity status is real. Okay? So they're saying this is a real thing. The story behind this is that these boys saw a UFO in the woods. They're out with the dog. A dog ran ahead out of sight and suddenly began barking. You'd be freaking out. And ran back. Later, they noticed two small lights over the left of an object, which they thought was a pulsating ball of fire kind of near them, and they detected a pungent mist that made their eyes and nose burn, and then they saw it. Pretty spooky.
Okay.
Could you imagine seeing like something like that in the woods?
No. Here's the one that I'm thinking of, and there's a lot of these on TikTok. They're called a chupacabra.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Spanish for goat sucker, I guess. People say that they saw this in Puerto Rico in the 1990s, but I think that this is like a very well-known thing in Spanish folklore that obviously, like I said, is extended into Central Americas. They say that it has creepy red eyes, stands on two legs, is about 4 to 5 feet tall, and has spikes on its back and very long claws on its hands. Likes to drain livestock of their blood. It will mess with people as well and try and eat children too.
What do they say is the...
they have YouTube
what do they think
already.
it actually is? Like, do they think it's a wolverine or something?
No, they think that it's a thing that
real
likes
thing?
to lure people.
Because I know the Wendigo as well, people believe in. Sam, do you have any that pop into your mind?
Not off the top. I mean, the only thing that I kept thinking about as you were describing that scary character was Jack the Ripper for some reason.
That's a real person.
I mean, allegedly.
Allegedly,
Jack the Ripper was a real person. All of this talk just scares me, though. All it reminds me of is that movie you and I went and saw last year, Barbarian.
Oh, I loved Barbarian.
No,
so
fuck
good.
that.
So
Fuck
good.
that.
Everyone watch Barbarian and look up nothing of it. The reason I wanted to talk about cryptids, though, is because I watched that Netflix Unsolved Mysteries about the one about the Mothman, and I was like, so this Mothman character, doesn't actually like hurt anybody. People say he was just there, like stalking them, like he's just a voyeur. That's his thing.
So he doesn't really do anything.
Yeah, like I've never heard of anyone being attacked by the Mothman.
I thought he mentally messes with them, if I'm recalling the
No.
movie correctly.
I don't believe so. I do know that Point Pleasant does a Mothman festival, and they have a 12-foot tall statue of
awful.
the creature.
Awful.
I want to go. I would go to that. Why not?
Have you guys ever seen anything in your lives that you feel like cannot be explained? Like some sort of sighting that...
Paranormal activity.
Not even paranormal, but like maybe a creature that you weren't sure. Like I guess you could say like a cryptid. Like
I have one. Sure. I have a really good... Like this is a true story.
It was a story from a friend of a friend of a friend of a friend of mine.
And I always thought like maybe I made it up in my head.
Probably did.
No, but I have a witness who remembers it all these years later too. So when I was a kid... I remember me and my friend Nolan, we were like probably like 10.
Oh, okay, fake news.
Well, here's the bullshit. Here's the mind-blowing part.
Just kidding.
We were having a sleepover or whatever, and there was a green light getting shone into like my house. Like it was peeking through the blinds. It was like very strong, and I was like, that's really creepy. And then we were like, go look. You go look. I'm not looking, whatever. And I always thought I dreamed that up. Like that was never a real thing. And then this guy Nolan, he streams on Twitch. So one day he was streaming on there. I just hopped in the chat and I was like, hey, by any chance, do you remember like that green light out in Sturgeon County, Alberta? Or did I make this thing up in my head?
Just one green light?
It was just like imagine you're in your bedroom and you have the blinds closed, but like a green light is pouring through the shades.
The aliens.
Yeah. And he remembered it though. And I was like, holy shit. He remembered it.
Yeah. You know what?
It's that damn Cardiff Mine Forest.
That's fair though, because I grew up out in a very similar area to you when we were growing up. I grew up out in Sturgeon County, so really not that far from.
Same area.
Yeah, same area. But I lived more like you were more in like I think the houses were a little closer together. Like I was
in a hamlet.
Yeah, like I lived on an acreage where it was like we didn't have street lamps out on the streets, and it was like your neighbors were still pretty far away from you, but like man, I remember just seeing and hearing some creepy shit that would be in the woods, but like 9 times out of 10 it was some sort of forest dweller. Like
a deer?
My brother saw a badger straight up in our backyard. My mom didn't believe him, and then I believed him. I remember seeing it. Actually so scary when you're a kid. Thing looked huge. Thought it was gonna come eat me. I know it was just a badger, but I was like, I don't want to run into a fucking badger. Like, it's scary.
Yeah, and I think also when you're like 10 and 11 or 12, like you hear noise in the woods. It's like 9 times out of 10, probably teenagers smoking weed. Like that's what's really going on
Those
over
are
there.
the real cryptids, man.
Yeah.
Those are scary. No, I get scared easily. I'm so glad I have dogs now. I fully believe. Actually, this is weird.
That almost makes it worse because they bark at random shit.
This is actually weird. The other day, I was like, okay, fucking stop being weird, dog. Like, dogs do strange things, but I'm trying to go to bed, and we set up a new bed in our bedroom, so it's a slightly bigger one, and it's king size, so like the dogs have slightly less room for their dog beds. I don't know if it was just because Arthur was stressed or what the fuck was going on, but he wouldn't like lay down. And I got up to go to the bathroom, and I put my phone light on, and all he was doing was standing in the corner, facing the corner with the door, with his head perfectly against it, with his tail up straight and back right like this. In the corner, like a kid who had gotten put there for punishment at the middle of the fucking night and 1 a.m.
Little Blair Witch with the dog.
I was like, what the fuck are you doing? And his tail wasn't wagging or nothing. He was completely alert in the corner,
Quickest
ears
piss
up.
of your life.
He was like, he's just sitting there looking like it was the door and the edge of the wall, and his nose was into the corner, and he was back up like this. I'm like, Arthur. And I had to get up and move him, and then he turned around. I was like,
So you got
what
scared.
the fuck are you looking
you got
at?
scared of your dog taking a sit.
No, he wasn't sitting. He was standing.
Okay, you got scared of your dog standing and looking at something.
In the middle of the night, if you saw your dog, like,
Yeah.
picture if you were in that corner and it was a wall, and you were just like,
That's like the Blair Witch.
in the middle of the fucking
I would do
I
that
love
to
that-
prank you.
I
That's
love
the
that you were
Blair
still on
Witch.
camera for that. That was perfect.
Yeah,
Planned it like
if you're
that.
watching the video version of this podcast, you get some real good Blair Witch
I'm just saying,
reenactments
it
in
was
broad
fucking
daylight.
weird shit.
Dogs can be kind of Blair Witchy though, because that happens with like Max sometimes, where I'll like walk downstairs and I'll feel like someone's watching me, and I can just see her fucking eyes in the dark. Like
That's like the Flatwoods Monster, you guys. The dog ran ahead out of sight and began barking and returned later with its tail between its legs. You'd be terrified. Done.
Dogs see things. They know shit.
After Hours with Mariah and Ty.
And we're back. You're asking me about time slips.
Off the air. That's for another time, though.
All right, you want to do it? Well, we could do a part 2 of our crypto deep dive where Mariah explains
Talks about
time slips.
Okay, sure. I was going to talk about something scary like WestJet, but then I thought...
No. We could do a part 2 like next week, and you can, or in
No, I'm in
a
it
couple
now.
weeks. So now you want to do it?
I want to do it now.
Okay.
I don't know how this episode
What is
just...
a time slip?
Okay, let me do
well,
a-
this is
let me do a
the
Google.
scary episode.
I don't know why this is
Time slips.
Okay, okay. Time slips definition. Okay,
You got it?
yes. Okay. This is stupid. Wikipedia is describing it as like a fucking, if it was in like a movie.
Well, it's like in the X-Files where they're driving and then all of a sudden they're like, we lost 3 minutes.
Okay, here's a better explanation on like Reddit. Somebody is saying that a time slip is a phenomenon where a person has a recollection of being in a different time of what they're not aware of. So they'll be traveling and they will, like, the most evident one that I have found and that like I read about.
It's when you drive to work each day.
That's right. And I'm like, what
You're
year
like,
is
I
it?
thought I had more time.
Yeah, I know. People say it's when a person or a group of people seem to accidentally travel through time or be in a time that isn't relevant to their own. and they have no explanation for it. So like the best one that I saw was this couple. It was in the 80s, I believe. They were traveling across Europe with another couple, and they decided to go to like a bed and breakfast that was like, it had been spoken about, this very small town outside of Paris. And when they had drove there, they went into this hotel, and the
Vanishing Hotel.
Yeah, people were very confused about the type of vehicle that they had arrived in, and the currency and the payment. And when they arrived, they thought that it was a bit like these people were acting out like, I don't know, something you would see at like Fort Edmonton, Fort Calgary Park, or like Ukrainian Village. They're like, oh, this must be like a themed thing. This is crazy. And when they went to go pay, they were like, what do you owe? And they were like, oh, like a shilling. And it was just very bizarre. They had no phones there. They couldn't get any sort of connection to people. The people didn't understand half of the verbiage that they were using. And when they woke up and they left, they drive back out onto a road, and nobody had ever heard of that place that they had went to.
I can tell you the rundown of the story, like because you did miss only like a couple things. You pretty much summed it up from memory there,
right?
Or was that on Reddit?
No, that was from memory. That's what I remember.
Here's the real story, Sam. This will creep you out, okay?
Are you actually gonna school me, or like that didn't happen?
No, you were pretty.
That was your own time slip.
You were pretty on the
Really?
ball there. Your own time slip is every day when you show up to work, and you're like, I thought I had more time. It's a 20-minute drive. It's not. I'm gonna add this to the Wikipedia. So
okay, but I was right though.
Okay,
right?
Here's the actual story.
Okay.
Wait. If we're doing the creepy one, let me hit it one more time.
Oh my god, where did you find this?
Because it's called Time Slips. All right, so it says another widely publicized case featured in ITV's Strange But True program involved two married couples, Jeff and Pauline Simpson and Len and Cynthia Grisby, who stopped at an old-fashioned hotel while driving through France en route to Spain in October 1979. After turning off the automobile and the auto route and followed an old cobbled road some distance, the couple spent the night at an inn that lacked modern conveniences such as telephones or elevators or even glass in the windows.
Ooh.
In fact, both husbands claimed to have taken photos of their wives standing in front of the shuttered windows in their respective rooms. 2 weeks later, on their way home, the group opted to stay at the hotel again, but could not find it. When the husbands developed the photos from the trip, those taken in the hotel were missing.
Oh,
That's crazy.
Interesting.
Perfect.
Yeah.
And that's like unexplainable. That just doesn't. That's paranormal stuff.
Yeah, like it's a bit. Yeah, like I don't know. It's kind of interesting. There's other ones that I'm reading about. Like this one is. I don't know. There's like people that have
The
said.
exit stage left story. That's a famous one. I'm just reading.
What is that one?
Well, they've done it in like TV shows. Vera Conway, an English woman who claimed to have traveled back in time when she got lost in a building in London. Conway had arrived at the building for a music lesson. Mistaking directions, she entered a door between two cloakrooms and found herself in a theater. It seemed a performance was about to begin. A man approached her wearing breeches and powdered hair, and she realized everyone was in Regency clothing. And there were no electric lights, merely lanterns. Vera returned to the reception to ask again for directions and later determined for certain that there was, in fact, no door between the two cloakrooms.
Creepy.
Wow.
I would love if something like that happened to me because I would just start like placing bets on sports. I'd be like, the Bulls are really going to heat up in the 90s, you guys. That's right. Sam's wearing the Bulls shirt. That's exactly what I'd be doing.
Yeah, like I definitely think that if there was something
Pretend
to
to be
believe
my
in,
grandpa and just
Oh
be like,
my
I'm George
God.
and I'm placing this bet.
That's,
So-
dude, that's straight out of Back to the
scientifically-
Future
But
too,
then I'm
baby.
back and I'm wealthy.
You bring an almanac back with you, you're good to go.
Yeah, I could remember some sports for sure. I could bet on, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Do you feel like this theoretically though could make sense? Like I do feel
I
like
believe in time travel more than I believe in ghosts. I believe in aliens more than I believe in ghosts.
I think that time slips theoretically, scientifically make more sense if you think about like something that could actually happen.
Yeah.
It just seems like it makes sense, especially with these like stories, but I don't know.
That's stuff that keeps you up at night, right? Well, that's what I like to
yeah.
think about. I was Googling the cryptids at like 4 a.m. the other night. Just having
is
a
what this
great
guy's
time.
doing, eh?
Oh my God, yeah. I remember when I was like a kid and I was like 15 in high school. I should have been studying. It's like 2 a.m. reading about the lizard people. I'm like, ooh.
Oh, you love it. You and Wayne, my dad, would have great conversations about this. He fully believes in that shit. And I'm like,
Well, they do have a rational explanation for time slips, but quite frankly, I don't feel like covering it. What's the fun in that?
Apparently, yeah, I'm reading this New York Times article right now, and there are like a whole community of people that like have dedicated their life to investigating these phenomenons.
Yeah, they're
about
called the
this shit.
Ghostbusters.
Yeah, it's creepy. I don't know.
Well, now it's time for Mariah and Ty's Game of the Week.
Let's go.
Mariah and Ty's Game of the Week.
All right, we've done my pop culture trivia knowledge. We've done Mariah's pop culture trivia knowledge. Now we got producer Sam here, and you know what it's going to be, Mariah. Lots of sports.
Oh,
Lots of
You guys
sports.
will be shocked. There is not a ton of sports in here.
only 7 out of 10 questions. It's good. Tell me. Let's get to it. Let's hop to it.
Let's hop to it.
I am having
I'm
more
giving you guys an
confidence.
easy one to ease you in. In the show Friends, what is Joey's agent's name?
Oh, it's an older
And how many
lady.
questions are there?
I have 8 questions.
And you're seeing our computers. We're not Googling anything.
It's a woman who smokes, and I know she has white
Yep.
hair.
She has curly white hair.
I have no idea. Mrs. Darts?
No.
Mrs. Darts?
Fuck. Okay, you're gonna have to pass. I do know exactly who it is. I'm gonna.
Estelle.
Fuck.
I wouldn't have
knew
known that. I
I knew
wouldn't have
that.
known
Wow, that
that.
was good. I thought. You know what? I thought I could pull through with that.
Oh,
Okay.
the Friends fans are going to be just tearing you apart, Mariah.
Estelle. I know.
Estelle.
Because doesn't Phoebe impersonate her once or twice on the phone?
Yeah, 100%.
Wow.
Does a good job, too. Number 2, which NHL player hit a fan with his own shoe in the stands at an NHL game?
How recent is this? Can you give an era?
1970s. But he was a commentator on TV. And he's kind of a dick.
Is it Don,
Don
Cherry?
Cherry?
It is not Don Cherry. He was the coach of that team. It's the Boston Bruins.
Dude, the only Bruin I know is Bobby Orr. Like, I have no clue.
Oh, I don't know. Yeah. Mr.
sure?
Butts would kill me. Yeah, go ahead.
Mike Milbury.
Would not.
Former
would
NHL
not.
GM and
Let me tell you,
broadcaster.
I'm not going to know that.
I figured you might. I don't know.
That's actually no. You know what? If you really had some think to it, perhaps. Okay.
This one's a true or false, so you got a 50-50 shot at it.
Oh, okay.
True or false, Mark Hamill's scars on his face in Empire Strike Back was makeup.
False.
Ty?
That is real scar.
Yeah, false. Didn't he have an accident?
He did.
Yeah.
Look at you guys go.
Look, we
Look at
have
that, we're
1
tied.
point.
He crashed his Cadillac or something.
Okay.
Okay. Number 4, which Simpsons voice actor voiced Venom in Venom's first screen appearance on the Spider-Man animated series?
They're a Simpsons voice actor?
Yep.
Doesn't Hank Azaria do a lot of the voice acting?
Yeah, I would have to go with Hank Azaria.
Right.
Look at you guys go. It's Hank Azaria.
Wow.
My arms are that long. Wow.
True or false? Or actually, no. I'm going to go different.
Okay.
Why
Okay.
was a Magnetar card banned from the Pokemon trading card game?
I don't know.
It was inappropriate.
graphic? Yeah.
Yeah.
Sexual?
Not sexual.
Was it worth too much money?
No.
It was just graphic in nature.
It was graphic.
Okay, so we win.
I'm giving you guys half points on this one. It was banned because it depicted Magnetar brandishing a gun,
Oh.
which seems like not
Gun
really
violence.
a kid's trading card game thing.
All
Do
right, yeah. I
Okay.
didn't know they had guns in Pokemon. I thought that was Pal World.
you remember when I was playing that for a
Pal-
week?
World.
Mariah hated it. She's like, don't give them guns.
Number 6, what is the name of the Fantastic Four's building in the comics?
Oh,
Fug.
shit.
That's a really good question because I can envision it. And they have the big 4 logo on the top. It's tall silver. Is it? Right? I don't know. I fucking don't
I
know.
don't know. I know. Didn't Doctor Doom live in like Doom Tower or some shit?
I
What's the name of the tower? Just tell us, Sam.
It's the Baxter Building.
Okay, would not have known that.
Okay, that's also I could have maybe known that if you gave me multiple choice, but I very much doubt it.
That is good niche lore of.
I'm good at this.
All right, what do we got?
Number 7. Matt DiPaola had this in an interview recently. Which current ex-artist, somebody we're playing on air, holds the world record for most shows performed in 24 hours?
Didn't he interviewed the Sheepdogs recently, didn't he?
He did, but it was a different artist.
Okay. In 24 hours?
24 hours. It was set in the UK. And he is coming to play in September.
Oh.
Trying to think of who
was
Matt
it like
interviewed.
Hosier? No. Did
No.
that artist already come?
Should be
Jeez.
more in tune with what the other shows are doing.
Way to leave us out to dry.
Is it
God.
Sam Roberts?
No, it is not Sam Roberts. One more guess.
Give us some fucking multiple choice, Sam.
His song that he's playing right now on the station is called Letters.
Oh, Frank Turner.
There you go.
There
I
you
wouldn't have
go.
got it either. Sorry, Frank. I wouldn't have known.
Sorry, that was good. That was good though. Okay.
I gave you a couple options. Number 8.
We're dead heat too.
Yeah. What year was the NHL founded? And it says multiple choice. 1920, 1930, 1940, 1917.
1930?
I know what it is. I'm going to say 1917.
Ty is correct. It is 1917.
I thought that was a little too early, TBH.
I remember because they missed like on World War One or something. And
Oh,
two, war.
And then I have a bonus last hockey question if you guys would like to
Sure,
take part
sure.
in it. Actually, it's not a hockey question.
I mean, what
I
so
wrote-
are you just making this up on
no,
the
no,
spot?
No, I wrote it incorrectly. What is the name of the NBA trophy for winning? I want to see if Mariah can do this. If you win the NBA championship, what's the name of the trophy you get, Mariah?
Easiest thing in the world.
I can give you some options.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you don't get this, we've been working together for like 8 years. You've asked me this question before. You should know this.
I know, and it was recently that I asked you this
Yeah,
question.
Come on.
Okay. Is it the Stanley Cup,
Oh, Jesus, Sam.
the World Series trophy,
Come on, Sam.
the Vince Lombardi trophy, or the Larry O'Brien trophy?
Vince Lombardi. No, it's wrong. Oh, no.
It's the Larry O'Brien! Larry O.B.
Sorry.
Oh.
You gave me a couple throwaways there, and then I just really fucking dogged
know,
it.
Vincent Lombardi. That's NFL.
I thought this would be an interesting question after what's in a Cosmo?
You know?
Okay,
Hey,
sorry.
Ty, Sam. How do you guys make a Cosmo in the last episode?
Oh, goddamn, guys. I'm not going to lie. The NBA lore is in deep with me.
We got to start watching more, you know? 82 games a season. We can get you down for at least, 22?
If you would have said, what color are Steph Curry's eyes, I would have answered that correctly.
What'd you guys think of the drinks on today's
Delicious.
podcast? The
I love these.
Southern State Tennessee Lemonade Whiskey Cocktail, 5% alcohol.
Crushed it.
Oh, Jesus, sorry.
Okay, you gotta just drink it. Don't inhale it. Just drink it. Don't inhale it. Mariah's like, it's good.
Turn down for what?
Wrong tube.
Turn down for what? Tube?
You know what? I've been drinking a lot this weekend, so I should probably...
Turn down for what?
You're like, I've been drinking a lot.
Turn down for what?
I've been straight boozing it.
Yeah, it's Southern State Tennessee Lemonade Whiskey Cocktail. I don't really like a whiskey too often, and this is pretty good. I really liked it.
Yes, I thought this was delicious. Perfectly balanced with flavor. Cool little can about it. Not too sweet.
I
Very
think
delicious.
we've had drinks from Gradient before, and they always kind of
They do hit it.
They're very good. You
Yeah.
love the Gradient drinks.
I do. Yeah.
Yeah, the lemon lime's nice. Don't forget to like and subscribe or rate this podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Yeah, I think you can comment now on Spotify. Let us know if you want us to do another cryptid, scary episode, because we're very good at this. We're experts. Anything else, you guys?
Big time. Mariah, research the Larry O'Brien trophy.
I'm sorry.
That's
I'm
it.
sorry.
That's it. And I'll research Cosmos, all right?
Okay, and then we'll have a party. We'll drink Cosmos while we talk NBA. Could be fun.
Give us our sign
We'll
off.
review a Naruto episode.
Yeah!
Episode 1. We'll cover it.
Okay.
Is that 20 minutes?
Episode 1?
Yeah.
Episode 1 is not good. We should do the last episode.
Oh, so we don't know what happened in it.
Very climactic.
Okay, bye.
You've been listening to After Hours with Mariah and Ty. Don't forget to subscribe to this podcast and have the new episode of After Hours with Mariah and Ty downloaded weekly to whatever device you use.
I've been straight boozing it.